Welcome to Dreamtime Stories. Tonight, we journey to a small cottage nestled amongst autumn woodlands, where a gentle stream flows nearby and evening settles softly over everything. Find yourself comfortable now. Let your body sink into your bed, releasing any tension you've been carrying. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Another deep breath and release. Perfect. Our story begins on a quiet autumn evening when golden hour light filters through trees ablaze with color. You've arrived at a cottage you know well, a place of refuge and peace, tucked away from busy roads and hurried schedules. This haven sits beside a babbling stream, surrounded by woodland that has transformed into a tapestry of amber, crimson, and burnt orange. As you approach along a narrow path, fallen leaves crunch softly beneath your feet. Oak and beech trees tower overhead, their branches swaying gently in an evening breeze. Some leaves still cling stubbornly to their homes, whilst others drift lazily downward, performing their final dance before settling on the forest floor. The path winds between moss-covered stones and patches of fern that have turned bronze with the season's change. Ahead, the cottage appears through the trees, a small stone dwelling with a slate roof and chimney from which a thin wisp of smoke rises. Warm light glows from the windows, creating golden rectangles against the deepening twilight. Ivy climbs one wall, its leaves having shifted from summer green to shades of burgundy and plum. A wooden door, painted deep purple, stands at the entrance, with a simple iron handle worn smooth by years of use. You reach the door and pause for a moment, noticing how quiet everything has become. The forest seems to be settling down for the evening, its daytime activities giving way to a more contemplative mood. Birds have finished their evening songs. Small creatures have returned to their burrows and nests. Even the breeze has softened to barely a whisper. Turning the handle, you step inside and close the door behind you with a gentle click. Immediately, warmth embraces you. A fire crackles in the stone hearth across the room, its flames dancing in shades of orange and gold. The cottage consists of one main room, not large, but perfectly proportioned, with everything needed and nothing superfluous. Your gaze travels around this refuge. Exposed wooden beams cross the ceiling, darkened with age to a rich honey color. The walls are painted in soft cream, decorated here and there with watercolors depicting woodland scenes. A deer at dawn, mushrooms growing on a fallen log, a robin perched on a winter branch. These aren't grand works of art, but rather simple paintings that capture moments of natural beauty. To your left stands a comfortable armchair upholstered in worn fabric, positioned perfectly to face both the fireplace and a large window. Purple cushions rest against the chair's back, and a thick woolen blanket in complementary shades of plum and gray lies draped over one arm. Beside the chair, a small wooden table holds a brass lamp with a cream shade, currently unlit as firelight provides ample illumination. The fireplace dominates one wall, its stone surround blackened from years of use. Logs are stacked neatly in an alcove beside it, their bark still attached, smelling faintly of forest and earth. The fire itself burns steadily, neither roaring nor struggling, but maintaining a perfect, comforting presence. Occasionally, a log shifts, sending up a small shower of sparks that quickly fade. On the opposite side of the room, beneath a window, sits a compact kitchen area. Open shelves display simple crockery, earthenware mugs, plates in muted tones, a teapot with a bamboo handle. A kettle rests on a small stove. Jars of dried herbs line one shelf. Chamomile, lavender, mint. Their contents are visible through glass, creating a pleasing arrangement of greens and purples. But it's the window that draws you now. You move towards it, your footsteps quiet on the flagstone floor, partially covered by a thick rug in deep jewel tones. As you approach, the view beyond reveals itself more fully. Through the glass, you can see the stream that runs perhaps 20 meters from the cottage. Even in the fading light, you can make out its gentle movement, water flowing over smooth stones, creating small eddies and ripples. Trees line both banks, their autumn foliage reflected in the water's surface, creating a doubled spectacle of color. Some leaves have already fallen into the stream and float downstream, tiny boats on their final voyage. Above the tree line, the sky displays that particular quality unique to autumn evenings, a gradient from pale gold near the horizon, through shades of peach and rose, to deeper blue overhead. The first stars are beginning to appear, faint pinpricks of light in the darkening expanse. As you watch, the first drops of rain begin to fall. They start tentatively, sporadic taps against the window pane. Then more join in, creating a gentle percussion that quickly becomes steady. Not a downpour, but a persistent autumn rain, the kind that settles in for the evening, patient and thorough. You turn from the window and move to the armchair, lowering yourself into its embrace. The cushions yield perfectly, supporting without being too soft. You pull the woolen blanket across your lap, its weight immediately comforting. The texture is substantial, hand-knitted perhaps, with a slight roughness that speaks of natural fibers and traditional craftsmanship. From this position, you can enjoy both the fire's warmth and the window's view. Rain now streams down the glass in rivulets, distorting and softening the scene beyond. Through this watery veil, the stream and trees become impressionistic, all flowing lines and blurred colors. The sound of rain on the roof joins the fire's crackling, creating a duet of comfort. Sometimes the rain intensifies slightly, drumming more insistently on the slate tiles overhead. Then it eases again, returning to its steady rhythm. There's no wind to drive it sideways, just straight falling rain that knows its purpose and pursues it calmly. You notice a book resting on the arm of the chair, a volume bound in dark green cloth, its pages softened and yellowed slightly with age. Picking it up, you find it contains poetry about nature and seasons. The typeface is elegant, easy on the eyes. You don't read with any urgency. Just let your gaze drift over verses about autumn leaves and harvest moons, frost on windows and geese flying south. One poem speaks of twilight hours when day surrenders to night, of that liminal space between activity and rest. The words wash over you, not demanding comprehension, just offering their rhythm and imagery. You read a few more pages, then set the book down again, content simply to exist in this moment without distraction. Time seems to soften and stretch in this place. Minutes might be passing, or perhaps longer. It doesn't matter. There's nowhere you need to be. nothing demanding your attention. This evening belongs entirely to rest and stillness. The fire continues its patient work, consuming logs in a process both destructive and beautiful. Flames lick upward, finding purchase in the wood's grain, revealing the patterns hidden within. Occasionally, a pocket of sap heats and pops, a small exclamation in the otherwise steady murmur of burning. The wood glows orange at its heart, gray ash forming at the edges where fire has already passed. You notice details you hadn't seen before. A sprig of dried heather hangs from one of the ceiling beams, its tiny purple flowers still holding their color despite being long cut. On the mantelpiece above the fire sit 3 smooth river stones, each one different in color and size, gray, cream, and one with stripes of rust running through it. Someone collected these, placed them here, found beauty in their simple forms. A hand-woven basket sits beside the hearth, filled with pine cones and kindling. The basket itself is lovely. Willow, perhaps, woven in an intricate pattern that speaks of skill and patience. These small touches throughout the cottage suggest care, attention, a life lived intentionally rather than rushed. Outside, dusk deepens toward true darkness. The colors fade from the sky, leaving only darkness scattered with stars. The stream becomes harder to see, though you know it's still there, still flowing, still making its way over stones and around roots, as it has for countless years, and will for countless more. Rain continues its conversation with the roof, sometimes louder, sometimes softer, but always present. It's the kind of sound that doesn't demand attention, but provides a backdrop of consistency. You find your breathing beginning to match its rhythm, slow, steady, regular. Your gaze drifts to the kitchen area, where a pottery bowl holds apples, rusted and imperfect, clearly from an orchard rather than a shop. Their skins bear the marks of real growth, small blemishes, variations in color, stems still attached. They sit in companionable silence, waiting to be eaten or perhaps baked into something warm and comforting. A copper pot hangs from a hook near the stove, its surface bearing the patina of use, darkened in some places, bright where it's been handled most. These aren't showpiece items, but working tools that have earned their place through service and reliability. Your eyelids grow heavy. The book in your hands becomes less interesting than the simple act of sitting here, warm and dry, whilst autumn does its work outside. You set the book aside, letting your hands rest on the blanket. Your head settles back against the purple cushions, perfectly positioned to support without strain. Through half-closed eyes, you watch the firelight flicker and dance. It creates shifting shadows on the walls, gentle movements that never repeat exactly, but maintain a constant character. The light is warm-toned, golden and amber. Nothing harsh or bright, just illumination enough to create atmosphere without disturbing the encroaching peace of evening. You can hear the stream now, its voice carrying through the rain. It's a continuous sound, neither loud nor silent, a presence that has become part of this place's character. Water over stone, around obstacles, finding its path with patient persistence. Sometimes you think you can distinguish individual notes within that sound, a splash here, a gurgle there, but mostly it blends into one cohesive song. Your muscles continue to release tension you didn't realize you were holding. Shoulders drop, jaw relaxes, hands uncurl. The armchair supports you perfectly. The blanket's weight grounds you, and the cottage wraps around you like a benevolent presence that asks nothing and offers everything. The fire settles further, burning lower now, but still providing ample warmth. You need do nothing about it. Everything here takes care of itself. The logs will burn at their own pace. The rain will fall as long as it needs to. The stream will flow eternally. Your only task is to be here, to rest, to let go. Outside, you imagine the forest receiving this rain gratefully. Tree roots drinking deep, moss swelling with moisture, mushrooms preparing to push through the leaf litter. Autumn rain nourishes as much as it cleanses, preparing the woodland for winter's dormancy and spring's eventual awakening. The cottage itself seems to breathe around you, old timbers settling, stone walls holding warmth, the roof performing its quiet duty of keeping you dry. Buildings develop character over time, and this one has plenty, not from grandeur or size, but from decades of providing shelter, of being a refuge, of witnessing countless evenings just like this one. You shift slightly in the chair, finding an even more comfortable position. The purple cushions cradle your head. The blanket's weight feels perfect, and your body seems to melt further into the furniture with each passing moment. There's an art to true relaxation, and you're discovering it now. Not forcing anything, just allowing, accepting, surrendering to comfort. More time passes. How much you cannot say and need not know. The boundary between waking and sleeping becomes less distinct. You're aware of the cottage around you, of rain and fire and stream. But these sensations begin to merge with dreams. Perhaps you're walking through autumn woods, leaves crunching underfoot. Perhaps you're beside the stream, watching water flow over smooth stones. Perhaps you're simply here, in this chair, sinking deeper into comfort with each breath. The fire's glow seems to pulse gently, in rhythm with your heartbeat. Or perhaps your heartbeat has slowed to match the fire's patient rhythm. Either way, you feel synchronized with this place, part of its evening ritual of winding down and letting go. Rain continues its percussion on the roof, a lullaby older than memory. Humans have been soothed by this sound since the first shelters were built, since we first discovered the profound comfort of being dry whilst water falls outside. It connects you to something ancient and universal, this simple pleasure of refuge. The darkness beyond the window is now complete. No colors remain, just varying shades of black and deepest blue. Yet this darkness isn't frightening or oppressive. It's restful, like a blanket drawn up, signaling that day's activities have concluded and night's restoration has begun. In the hearth, individual embers glow with their own internal light. Some burn bright orange, others fade to deep red, while some have cooled to gray, with just a hint of warmth remaining at their core. They form a landscape in miniature, hills and valleys of ash and ember, a tiny world of light and shadow. You think about all the people who might have sat in this chair before you, seeking the same peace, the same rest. Generations, perhaps, each finding solace in this simple combination of shelter, warmth, and natural sounds. The cottage has witnessed countless evenings, countless storms, countless quiet moments of contentment. Your breathing has become so slow and steady that you barely notice it anymore. Each inhalation brings in the cottage's scents, wood smoke, old books, a hint of dried lavender from the kitchen herbs. Each exhalation releases more tension, more thought, more of whatever you brought with you from the outside world. The woolen blanket seems heavier now, or perhaps you're simply more relaxed beneath it. Its texture against your hands has become familiar, comforting. You notice the individual stitches, the slight variations in the wool's thickness, the care that went into its creation. Someone made this blanket to provide coziness and comfort, and it fulfills that purpose perfectly. Through the window, you can barely see the stream anymore, but you know it's there. You can hear it, constant and reliable, a thread of sound woven through the evening's tapestry. Water that fell as rain somewhere upstream now flows past this cottage on its way to join a river, eventually reaching the sea. Everything connected, everything flowing, everything finding its path. The cottage room has grown dimmer as the fire burns down, but there's still enough light to see by. A soft, warm glow that's perfect for this drowsy state between waking and sleep. Shadows have deepened in the corners, but they're friendly shadows, nothing to fear. Just the natural consequence of limited light and familiar objects. Your eyes close fully now. There's nothing more to see that will add to this moment's perfection. Behind your eyelids, you're aware of the fire's glow, a warm orange presence that flickers softly. But increasingly, even this awareness begins to fade. You're held by the armchair, covered by the blanket, surrounded by cottage walls that have sheltered others before you and will shelter others after. But right now, this moment, this evening, this perfect combination of rain and fire and comfort, this is yours. The stream flows on through darkness. Rain falls with patient consistency. Fire burns toward embers, and you simply let go. Let go of today, of tomorrow, of anything beyond this moment of complete rest. Autumn does its slow work outside, leaves falling, rain soaking into earth, streams carrying water toward distant rivers. But here, in this cottage, warmth and dryness and comfort prevail. Here, you are safe, peaceful, and at home. Your breathing barely disturbs the blanket now. So slow, so steady, and so natural. Like the streams flow and the rains fall, like the earth's patient turn through seasons. You're part of nature's rhythm now, no longer separate or striving, just being, just resting, just drifting. The cottage keeps its vigil. The fire glows, the rain falls, the stream flows, and you sleep deeply and peacefully in this perfect autumn refuge where nothing troubles, nothing rushes, and all is well. In your mind's eye, you might see the cottage from outside now, a small building with warm light glowing from its windows, smoke rising from the chimney to be dispersed by gentle rain, surrounded by woodland, dressed in autumn's finest colors. A haven of peace in the midst of nature's slow transition from abundance to dormancy. Inside, you rest. The armchair holds you tenderly. The blanket provides just the right weight and coziness. The fire continues its ancient work of transforming wood to heat and light. Rain maintains its steady rhythm overhead. And the stream, always the stream, flows on through darkness, singing its eternal song of water over stone. Rest now. Dream of autumn leaves and flowing water, of firelight and gentle rain, of cozy cushions and woolen blankets. Dream of peace. Dream of comfort. Dream of this cottage that exists just for you whenever you need it, waiting with its fire lit and its door ready to open, offering shelter and rest and the profound gift of simply being, without demand or expectation. Dream and sleep. Good night.